Now, we remember from 4 days ago, what is a rational expression? What's a rational number? Oh, wow. Yeah, what's a number? Okay. X over Y, but there's some rules there. What are the rules that go with that? Y cannot ever equal 0, and X and Y must be rational. No, not rational, idiot. Must be integers. Right? So if I change that to a rational expression, then what's an expression? Doesn't equal anything. Right? So some math without an equal sign. So if I change this to a rational expression, it now becomes x plus m over y plus n. Do all the other rules apply? Yeah, except now instead of y can't be 0, it's y plus n can't be 0. Right? Okay. So, can we ever forget any of the rest of our math? No. So I'm going to finish this sentence and you're going to see how to do this. Multiplying and dividing rational expressions exactly the same as multiplying or dividing rational numbers. So let's remind you. X over y times a over b equals x times a over y times b. Right? That's how fractions work. Rational numbers. X over y divided by a over b equals x over y times b over a, which equals xb over ya. And you all already know that, right? That's grade 4. The only difference now is instead of there only being one thing there, there's expressions. Okay? So, let's start with this one. If we were in grade 4, when we were learning how to multiply fractions, Mrs. Bad Crumble has already taught you adding and subtracting with common denominators, and you're already like, ah. And then Mrs. Bad Crumble says, okay, class, remember how difficult it was to add and subtract fractions? You all said, yes, Mrs. Bad Crumble. Because when Mrs. Bad Crumble gave you this, 2/3 plus 3/7, you all wanted to say the answer was 5/10, right? All of you remember back to grade 4. Mrs. Bad Crumble showed you this, and you all said, she said, what was the answer? And you all said 5/10. Some of you still say 5/10, which is frightening, but that's beside the point. And then Mrs. Bad Crumble explained why this was not true, right? And she probably did that thing where she drew a pie and split it into quarters, and then she drew another pie and split it into thirds and said, how can I add that and that? And you all said, I don't know, Mrs. Bad Crumble. And then she split them into 12ths and 12ths, and then you were like, I get it, right? That's grade 4 in a nutshell. Agreed? Okay. Then, when she got to multiply, she said, class, and you said, yes, Mrs. Bad Crumble. She said, do you remember when we were adding fractions and you all thought that you just added straight across? You said, yes, Mrs. Bad Crumble. And then she said, it's not what we do with it. No, Mrs. Bad Crumble. But when we multiply, class, that's what we get to do. And she said, that's what makes multiplying easy. And then she walked away and said, go, right? And the hardest one she ever gave you was something like this. Yeah? Okay. Well, you're aware numbers get bigger than that, yes? So, If you were following Mrs. Bag Crumble's rule, what would the answer to this be? 5 times 4 over 8 times 15, which would be 20 over 8 times 15. Anyone? 120. And then if you handed that into Mrs. Bag Crumble, how did she mark it? Wrong, because you didn't simplify it, yes? Because that is 1/6. Agreed? Now, hopefully at some point along the line, somebody showed you this trick. And for a great many of you, it was me. It's not cross-multiplying, but that's what you call it. You looked here and here and saw, oh, that divides by 4, and that divides by 4. Okay. And then you looked here and here and said, oh, that divides by 5, and that divides by 5. And you got 5 divided by 5 was 1, 4 divided by 8, or 8 divided by 4 was 1/2, times 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. And now all of a sudden you get 1/6 right away. And this is how you should be thinking of this, what we're going to do today. Okay? Now, do we forget any of the rest of our rules? No. What does that word say? Simplify, yes? What did we spend the last 3 days in math class doing? Simplifying rational expressions. So, the first thing I must do is simplify. Then, I must apply my knowledge that I already have brought to the party. Agreed? So, if I'm going to simplify this, the first thing I must do is make everything simpler. How will I do that? What is the same thing we have done since the beginning of the 10th grade when we need to simplify? We factor. We're going to factor this. How do I factor that? What do I need? Numbers that multiply to what and add to what? They need to add to -1 and they need to multiply to -12. So what are they? A plus 3 and A minus 4. Agreed? And I'm keeping the colors together, yes? Does that simplify? That's the difference of squares, yes? What does it become? A plus 3, A minus 3. Agreed? And there's my green one. Times, that's already simplified, A minus 3, A minus 1, over 2, A minus 4. Now, when we get to this spot, this is when we must check for restrictions. Where are there restrictions here? I'll put in 2 more colors to make it easier. Where are there restrictions? Tell me the colors that I care about. What are restrictions? Obviously, this needs to be reminded. What are restrictions? Holy crap. What does the word restriction mean? If you want to see a movie and there is a big R, what does restricted mean? Why can't you do it? To what? Your age. You are 16, possibly 17. You cannot see a restricted movie because they are 18. So there is a restriction. If your age is less than 18, you cannot go in. So, where here, in what colors am I worried about restrictions? Pink and green, because those are the only places where there's something not allowed to be. What's not allowed to be on the green and pink bars? 0. So, I check my restrictions, and they are as follows. A plus 3 can't equal 0. A minus 3 can't equal 0. And A minus 4 can't equal 0. So what are the restrictions? A cannot equal what three values? Plus or minus 3 and 4. Everybody cool? Now, let's do some math. Remember, are you allowed to forget any of your other old math? Are you? No, you're not. So, if I gave you 3 times 3 over 6 times 3, what would you be allowed to do with those 3's? Cancel them. Why? Because this is really 3 over 6 times 3 over 3, yeah? And 3 over 3 is 1. 3/6 times 1. Does that change its value? No. So do you see any of that kind of canceling here? Where? A plus 3 and A plus 3. Because that equals 1, doesn't it? Okay. Now, in this kind of canceling, I was able to go diagonally. Yes? Why? Why am I allowed to go diagonally? Does order matter in multiplying? It doesn't, does it? Isn't this question the same as 4 over 8 times 5 over 15? So I was able to cancel, right? Well, do you see any of that? Where? A minus 4 on the top and A minus 4 on the bottom. There's 1, isn't there? Do you see any more of that? A minus 3 and A minus 3. What is left? A minus 1 over 2. And that is your answer. Everybody understand? Factor, factor, factor. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Whatever's not crossed out is your answer. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Okay, let's look at number 2. Where do you see options to factor? I'm going to give you 4 colors like I always do. You tell me which colors have spots we can factor. Where? I can factor green, yellow, and you see that as red? Okay. How do I factor the green? What is it really? Y plus 3, y minus 3. Agreed? Green. How do I factor the yellow? R. Wait, sorry. R minus 1, right? There's the yellow. Why did I get rid of the time symbol in the middle? Do I need it? No, because order doesn't matter, right? Over. Oops, that shouldn't have been yellow, dummy head. What's the pink one? R squared minus 1, yes? Look at that again. What's weird about that? It's R plus 1, R minus 1, isn't it? Right? There's the pink one. And can I do anything to the blue one? It's y plus 3. Now, what do I need to do now? No. before I cancel, restrictions are, my restrictions are as such. R cannot be 0, because if that's 0, this is all screwed. R cannot be plus or minus 1, because then we're screwed. And Y cannot be what? -3. Now what do I get to do? Cancel. Where are my cancels? Y plus 3, Y plus 3. Gone, gone. R, gone, gone. R minus 1, R minus 1. Gone. What am I left with? And then I am done. Is everybody cool? Nothing new, right? Right? Just remember, in grade 10, this was our job, just the factoring. And I told you all in grade 10, this is just the first step to more complicated math. Everyone cool? Okay, so let's have a look at 3. What's happening? Can I do any factoring? Can't do any factoring. Can I do any canceling? Where? 2 pi r can go and 2 pi r can go, correct? Any other canceling? Everybody says that. No. Why not? Let me show you. D over D minus 2. Everybody cool? Now you all, not all of you, but quite a few of you said cancel the D, right? Okay, let's do that. When I cancel that D, what is left up top? 1. Everyone agree? Right? Because when we cancel, we got to leave the 1, because that's D times 1, yeah? So what is left here? What is the answer? 1 over what? Everybody agree? Okay. So if you cancel that, this is what the answer is, okay? Everyone's cool? All right, now, let's pretend we didn't cancel it, and I tell you that D equals 4. What does this become? 4 over 4 minus 2, which is 4 over 2, which is 2, yes? Is that 1/2? No. That's why you can't cancel it, because this is not D. This is D minus 2. This is all one thing. It's a binomial. Okay? If it was a monomial, if it was D times 2, could I cancel those D's? Yes. Does everybody understand? Okay. So now that we know we can't cancel that, we've been reminded, because we already knew, what is our final answer? DH over D minus 2. Do I have restrictions? What are they? D can't equal 2. And am I done? No, because when should I have checked for restrictions? Is there ever allowed to be a 0 on the bottom? No. So I needed to check here as well, didn't I? R can't equal 0 either. The reason I show you that third is because both of these times we checked for restrictions after we'd factored, right? But before we canceled. We did no factoring here. But we still have to check for restrictions before we cancel. So I'm going to put a little star there. Restrictions before canceling. Everybody good? All right. Blue, yellow, blue, green, pink. Can I factor everywhere? Yep. So what's the yellow one? Agreed? What's the green one? X minus 4. What's the blue one? And what's the pink one? Is everybody cool? Have we factored? Have we canceled? So what should we check for right now? Restrictions. What are they? First one's easy to see. What can X not be? 0 or 4. That covers this side, yes? That also covers right there, yeah? Okay. What else can X not be? -5. Now we have to stop for a second, because what does that say?
At this time, if we could have all grade 11 and 12 boys, please.
Don't go for a second. You know how long it's going to take. What operation is that? It's divide. I'm dividing fractions, yes? So what does it become here? Multiply. And what does these have to do? They have to flip, don't they? So doesn't this become a new denominator? So I also have to check there. So it can't be -3 or 2. And I'm going to put a little star there. In division, we need to restrict. And I can't remember if that's the divisor. Forget that, right? We need to restrict both of the second expression. So I would rewrite this, and then you're going to go x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 2 over x, x minus 4 times, and now I'm going to flip this. X plus 5, x minus 4 over x plus 3, x minus 2, and then we're going to cancel. And that'll take 2 seconds. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. And what's left? X plus 2, x plus 5 over x, x plus 3. And we're done. Go to the assembly. I'm going to be doing all this again with the girls. I won't go any further than there. Do you think anything changes? No. Now, I would recommend flipping this right now. So this is going to become c squared minus 6c minus 7 over c squared minus 49 times c squared plus 7c over c squared plus 8c plus 7. Get it out of the way. And then factor. All of you know how to factor that. Go. Oh, they figured it out. Okay. Thought we were going to be listening to the whole phone conversation. How do I factor this? What is it? C plus 7. C minus 1. What's this? Yeah. My pen has gone into the pooper, though. No, that's such a pain in the butt when that happens. I don't want to stop and reboot because then I lose, then the video gets cut in half. So, all of you, oh, Jack. Yes, please do. Let's try. Let's try. Let's try pen.
What is wrong? I found it. Oh, we found it right here, right? It's all like crispy.
No, I think it's gone in the pooper.
Crap, it is crispy. I know it is crispy.
Damn.
It's like more so.
I'm not trying to. I don't want to have to put up 2 videos today. All right, well, I have to. All of you start